Today on Peliculas with the Bros, we are discussing the movie Tokyo Drifter directed by Seijun Suzuki. And we have some questions that need to be answered, like, are B movies better than A movies?
Did filmmakers know what they were doing back then?
All this and more will be discussed today on Peliculas with the Bros. Let's go! What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
And welcome everybody to the show. This is Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And today on Peliculas with the Bros, we are discussing the 1967 film Tokyo Drifter, directed by Seijun Suzuki. But before we get into that, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This is Peliculas with the Bros. It's a show where me and my brother Ivan discuss a movie. Every week, we discuss a new movie. And this week, it just so happens to be Tokyo Drifter. But we're doing Tokyo Drifter because next week we're going to be discussing a movie called Bullet Train. It's the action...
Thriller.
Is it thriller?
Probably.
It's like a high-speed action, Hong Kong-esque movie with that's starring our boy...
Brad
Pitt. And so that's coming out next week. So I thought, why not make a podcast discussing a movie kind of in a similar vein. So that's what we're doing today. But before we get into that, also please, if you haven't yet, if you like podcasts, if you like podcasts about movies, if you like podcasts about movies discussed by two guys, and if you like podcasts about movies discussed by two guys that so happen to be brothers, please hit that subscribe button. You can find us on all podcast platforms. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Deezer, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud. Anywhere where you get podcasts, we should be there. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on YouTube. We're called Peliculas with the Bros. So look us up and leave a comment and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. That way we can get more audience members, grow this community, and we can have a subreddit with a bunch of belly heads.
Ugh.
You like that?
No.
I'm like a African American preacher. I talk so fast and with so much fervent energy that I need a towel to wipe down my sweat.
We could sell that.
One day. It's gonna be like Elvis. Ah! Girls go crazy, throw me their panties just for some movies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ivan. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's walk a long and lonely road where nothing but your own whistle keeps you company as we prepare to drift into the movie of the week. Ivan, what's the movie?
Tokyo. Dun dun dun. Drifter.
Wow, 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 wow.
Aliens?
Oh. Tokyo Drifter, yes. Directed by the...
Don't say illustrious. I'll slap you.
The workhorse that is Seijun Suzuki.
Thank you.
It's written by this guy that I don't have right here. I don't know why I put that Seijun Suzuki wrote it, because he didn't. But it's written by some other guy. But that's not really the point. The point is the premise of this movie. A Yakuza leader, Kurata, decides to take his gang legit, and in doing so, leaves his business ripe for the picking. Atsuka, a Yakuza leader for a rival gang, decides to take over ownership of the building that belongs to Kurata. And then there's Tetsuya. Tetsuya is Kurata's enforcer.
Oh.
Guess what his nickname is? The Phoenix. Ah! And, Tetsuya, he's left at a crossroads, basically. Should he be the loyal, obedient man that he is and listen to his boss and his wishes and leave the underworld for good? Or does he become what he seemed destined to be? A drifter. With the cast of Tetsuya Watari as Tetsuya Phoenix Tetsu Hondo, Chaiko Matsubara as Chiharu, Hidaiki Nitani as Kenji Ayazawa, like that, Tamio Kawajiwi as Tatsuzo the Viper. Love that nickname. They call me Tatsuzo the Viper. Oh!
Like that?
Yeah. Tetsuyoshi Yoshida as Kaichi Ryuji Kita as Kurata. Hidaiki Esumi as Otsuka, the shooting star. I think there's a better one than that. There's like some kind of wait. There's got like Super Mario.
Ding. Something like that. Ding.
No. No, what's the Super Mario? Once you get the
Star.
Yeah.
It's a song though. It's not like a.
But what's the little jingle? The shooting star.
Oh my god.
E.G. Go as Tanaka. Ivan, this movie is directed by Seijun Suzuki. We've mentioned that many times. His movies. So, okay, this movie is made in 1967, right?
Mad Men era.
His movies are essentially from the early 50s to the early 90s. He goes on to direct until like the 2000s, but his pinnacle is from like the 50s to like 69 or something.
Mm-hmm.
His big films, Branded to Kill, which comes out right after Tokyo Drifter. Tokyo Drifter, which is this movie that we're talking about today. And there's another movie that he released in like 1989 that got a lot of critical acclaim called, I'm gonna butcher this, it's German too, Ziganata Weisen. I don't know. But the point is this, little backstory. He was hired by Nikatsu Company, which is essentially like one of the big studios in Japan, and one of the older studios in Japan. They're like comparable to like Universal and GM, something like that, right? And they hired him because he made one movie, like a cheap movie, and they're like, this guy looks like he knows how to direct a movie. He's our B-movie director. He's one of our B-movie directors. Mm-hmm. So they essentially have this phase, Nikatsu, where they want to make movies for that are basically quick, easy to make, and gets enough people to watch them that they warrant making more. Mm-hmm. And these movies are usually like pulp movies, crime, something that's more common in America in the 60s time. But this idea of being a B-movie director is kind of, it's very interesting to me actually. Like, how you can get pigeonholed, how a studio sees you and you're like, yeah, you're my B-movie director, and they give you script upon script that you're supposed to just bust out quickly. Mm-hmm. And I think this idea of a B-movie director isn't as prominent as it is back in the day. Like today you don't see that too much, or you don't hear about it too much, but all you have to do is turn on Netflix and all those directors that make movies that look all the same, those are today's B-movie directors, right?
Yeah. Well, I feel like B-movie is still like a good director. I think these Netflix ones are like C-movie directors with like A budget, not like AAA or AA budget, but just like A.
Is it A, or is it just like the camera is so good now for cheap that they could just make something that looks decent?
What are you talking about, like that one Ben Affleck 3 Frontiers movie?
No. That's definitely like an A movie just with a D script.
Yeah. What do you mean, like? Like,
there's a movie we watched the other day. I actually fell asleep. It's called like Purple Hearts. It's on Netflix. It's like #1 on Netflix, and it's just like a drama about love, like a love, whatever. Doesn't really matter, but it looked fine. Just the acting was not horrible, but just it was so basic, you know.
Right.
And to me, a B movie is something that has more style than what Netflix has right now. Like, it's as bad as a Netflix movie, but at least it has more style.
Yeah. I think a B movie is just like, it could be bigger if it just had more money.
Uh-huh.
But like the Netflix one is just like trash heap movie.
Right.
Like, not even, I don't think it's fair to call it B.
That's true. Just put it in the trash.
Yeah.
His movies, so he starts off making movies in the 50s, like I mentioned. He's hired by Nikatsu to make all these movies for cheap. He starts making the movies that they want to make, but as time goes on, he starts adding flourishes that he wants to add, that he thinks makes the movie better. And the company Nikatsu hates it. They're like, dude, your movies suck. Why did you put this weird color in the movie? Why is this story nonsensical? Can you just make a regular movie? And since it's such a cheap movie to make, there's really no oversight until like he delivers the film. And he kept doing this over and over until the studio was like, we had enough.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, like after Branded to Kill, which is the movie that comes out after Tokyo Drifter, they fire him and he gets blackballed for like 10 years. And Branded to Kill is like his. It's kind of, they say it's like even more zanier than this one in a way. But what a time that you're just blackballed for making a movie that you want to make. And then there's there's irony to this story too, because Nikatsu eventually kind of like has financial woes where they need to make movies for even cheaper, and the only way they can get enough money to stay alive is by making softcore porn movies. And just the irony of like, you can't make these cheap looking movies that are weird and all this, and eventually they have to resort to making these kind of movies. Here on Peliculas with the Bros, we like to look at how the sausage was made. So I've been
tired of sausages.
Here on Peliculas with the Bros, we like to open up that watch and see the gears turn, and see how exactly the clock engineer set up this watch. So Ivan, get your little screwdriver. Ding. Unscrew that little. You know how crazy is it that there's tiny screws like that? Like the tiniest screws ever.
Yeah.
Man.
You could eat them. Nothing will happen.
That's so weird. So let's look at how this movie was made, Ivan. Obviously, low budget. The crazy thing that I learned about this and about movies like this in this era, he made this movie in like 40 days.
Okay.
And that's how much time he had for all his movies through that company. They would essentially say, you have like a week for scouting locations, getting everything ready. You have like 25 or 10 or 15 days to shoot, 25 days to shoot, and you have like 5 days to edit.
I could do that.
And when you watch the film, there's nothing overly complex, so it is kind of possible, but still it kind of shapes the way you make a movie. It shapes how you tell the story, right? There's a bunch of like interviews and stuff about the making of this movie, and they didn't have that much money to make it, obviously, and they had to use the same set for a lot of the pieces. There's like this big white hall that they use, and then what they do is they use the reason that there's so much color in this movie, which is the movies is famous for this. The reason they use so much color is because they had to use the same space. So Suzuki needed a way to differentiate everything. So he used color to do that. And what some might think of like, wow, what a unique take on a movie, using color to maybe tell mood or to give a different atmosphere. Yeah, but Suzuki's more like, it's what needed to be done because I only had $10 to spare on lighting.
Right.
There's another example of this. What was it? Okay, the movie begins being shot in black and white, right?
Yes.
And it's even like a polarized black and white. It's not even like regular black and white. And from there, the movie gets cut to a color version. And one of his like, I don't know who it was, but another guy, Japanese guy, was commentating about what he thinks the movie, why he does that. And then they asked Suzuki like, why'd you do that? He's like, I just wanted something different.
That's how it is, isn't it?
And I kind of like admire that, how honest he is. like he could have. And this interview was done 50 years later, right?
Yeah.
He saw how some people imitated him, how his style influenced others. He could have been like, yeah, I meant to do that because of this and that and this. But he had the honesty to be straight up and just say, no, I did this because I felt like it that day.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's like a lot of creations. Or like just instincts.
Yeah.
He just saw that as like, you know what? Not really interesting. Let me just do something interesting. And then people later interpreted it as like some symbolism or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But really he just is just himself making it. And that is symbolism in itself.
It is. I saw this this movie. Like I learned about it through the Criterion channel. I was just like browsing their collection and I saw this and the cover was like a neon looking color and I was like, ooh, this movie looks interesting. And the description was like a zany, over the top movie. And I always meant to watch it. But now that we're doing Bullet Train, I was like, what kind of movie can we watch that kind of gives us like the training wheels before we get on the bicycle, right? To watch Bullet Train. And I started looking up movies because the Bullet Train's about like an assassin, so I started looking up assassins. And the movie is heavily influenced by like Japanese culture, so I started looking at Japanese movies. And I came upon this one and I was like, oh, this movie would be a good movie to talk about. After watching it, I wish we would have done like a Hong Kong movie.
Okay.
Where it's like action-packed type of movie, like John Woo or something. But I'm still happy we went down this road. I just wanted to give a little preamble before.
So this movie has nothing to do with this movie that's coming up?
Oh, it does, because they're both very heavily influenced by the Japanese people and the Japanese culture. So.
Well, we could have done Big Hero 6.
Is that the Disney movie?
Set in Japan.
Interesting.
With a white guy. Starring technically. He's like half white.
Well, you could have recommended something, but you don't recommend anything.
I thought we were going to do John Wick.
That was too on the nose.
I mean...
And it was like too similar. I wanted to do a movie that was... I think that's also why I picked this movie. Like, I didn't want to watch like two straight up action-packed movies.
Okay.
So we got this film, Tokyo Drifter. Ivan, what's your thoughts on Tokyo Drifter?
I liked it.
You liked it?
I liked it.
I like that
I
question.
have to say it exactly like I said it. I liked it.
Okay. I don't know what it means, but I'll take it.
Exactly.
I liked it too. I liked it. It was a very simple movie. There's a feeling while watching it, and it's due to the editing, that you feel lost. Like things don't add up entirely. There's like transitions in time, jump forwards, and it kind of makes sense if like you're giving the director credit for this, because it's like he's doing this to make you feel alone. He's making it so you feel kind of isolated, like more I'm lost, kind of like a drifter. And I think I think it goes back to, I'm rebutting my own thing, because Suzuki would be like, no, I did, the editing's like that because I just thought it would be better if we skip a bunch of parts and didn't tell you. But I love the fact, as a human being, I can be like, no, you know, that symbolizes the drifting mantra. Just, you wake up one day and you're in another town and you don't even know how you got there. I love that. And it goes back to my freaking review on Us, where Pio had to explain every single thing, and he ruined the movie for that reason. If he would have been like, what's her name? Red? If Red was just like, I am you, and like they fought instead of giving a 15-minute preamble of like who she is, how they were created, the movie would have been so much better. It would have had a lasting impact of mystery, and that's what this movie has. Sorry, I'm going off. This movie is also a vibe, you know?
Okay.
It has a look. The colors, obviously, we talked about that a lot. The costuming, the music. It's very odd. The composition, the shots, but it looks beautiful. Like I said, like you can take a still from the movie, from the scenes, and it can be a poster.
Yeah.
There's one scene specifically, I hope I can put it on here as an edit. Essentially, like the two bosses are talking to each other.
Yeah.
And the room's all purple. And the bosses are talking to each other like this. I would want that as a poster. Even though this movie is not going to be a movie that I probably rewatch more than once after this, it's still like an iconic image that's stuck in my head. So yeah, the movie's just a vibe and a half.
Agree.
It's kind of what's that show? Cowboy Bebop. It has that vibe, right? Jazzy.
Yeah, I guess. Don't.
Like Archer. What's like that common thing between Archer and Cowboy Bebop?
Cartoon.
You know, like in the beginning intro, like
A little cheesy.
not the cheesiness. It's like almost Austin Powers like too in that way.
Campy.
It's like that color montage.
Pulpy.
Ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Every single thing. Hell dog.
We're gonna add one today. I'll do it later,
Okay.
and you're gonna love it.
Okay.
This movie has the trappings of a noir.
If I hear noir come out of your mouth one more time.
Noir, it's like a yakuza in the seedy underworld. Determined. So determined to be a drifter. Like, have you ever met a guy that's like, get off me, toots.
Beat it, tits.
I'm a drifter.
I'm a drifter, babe.
I'm no good, yeah, I'm no good.
Get away.
You only cry if you're with me. I no good tits. Well, Ivan, that's your dream, okay?
Oh.
The movie starts with Tetsuya getting the shit kicked out of him in black and white. It's great. I love that little scene. But Tetsuya, like all noirs, there's a character that's just like quiet, stoic, badass. He gets beat up. He beats up people. He might slap a woman or two. This is Tetsuya. That's all you need to know, right? And he wears a cool looking blue suit the whole time. And basically the movie's about this guy and his boss, who's trying to basically go clean. He doesn't want to be a yakuza anymore. He doesn't want his gang to be a gang anymore. Now that he's out of the game, there's a rival gang trying to take his turf.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing really he can do about it because they're using sinister means, some might say. And it's a very basic premise. I'm not gonna make it seem like this highfalutin idea.
Right.
It's a very basic premise. But what the movie's really trying to like talk about is Tetsuya's kind of need to be loyal to his boss.
Right.
And the need is like, I need to protect my boss. I need to listen to him. But then, how much should he confide in his boss? How much should you...
How loyal?
How loyal can one person be? Until... It's almost like that great Michael Caine quote in Batman.
Yeah?
I wanted you to give me like a random quote that wasn't it at all.
I couldn't think of anything.
I didn't set you up well. Where he's like, live long enough to, what is it?
That wasn't freaking him. That was like...
Yeah, it was.
Harvey Dent.
No.
Yeah?
No.
Yeah.
No, because he told...
Adrian?
Listen.
Yeah.
No.
And he told Harvey, if anything, and then Harvey said it, because Harvey said it.
No. Nope, you're wrong. Remember when...
But he did say it.
Remember when Alfred was telling him about when he was...
Burma.
Yeah.
With the size of a tangerine.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he's
Some
like...
men want to watch the world burn?
Oh, damn it.
You stupid man. Harvey Dent said, okay, you either die here or live long enough to be a villain.
Alright, and that's what it is. That's what the point this movie's trying to make.
Jesus.
That his boss might eventually just turn into a villain.
Right.
Yeah. So that's one thing that the movie's talking about. Tetsuya has a baddie though. And he loves her. But he's stuck in this noir idea where he can't be with her at the end of the day.
He's a drifter, that's why.
He's a drifter.
I respect it.
And Katsuya's Kurata's in a bind now, the owner of the building. And he needs to find a way to not get blamed for the murder of the building property owner. So what they do is they essentially hand over the rights to the rival gang. Tetsuya's like, alright, time to become a drifter. And he becomes a drifter, but this rival gang wants to murk this guy so bad that they follow him. And who do they send? The Viper. And this is where things kind of get wonky for me. Like, there's like the middle part of the movie where I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, I don't know if he's drifting, if he's like fighting these villains, this rival gang. You know that part I'm talking about in the barn? I'm like, why is he in the room? Why is he then like walking in the snow? And then how is he beating up these people at the same time? And this goes back to the editing, where like the editing doesn't really make sense. And then what this movie is known for now is like its surreal nature. But when they ask Suzuki like, why is it surreal? He's like, I don't see it as surreal. I just see it as like, this is the movie I wanted to make. And he's like, I'll take it as a compliment.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a second, I get it now. This guy's actually just a bad director. But the fact that he's a bad director makes his movies good.
I think that was more like, I feel like he filmed the scenes and then the editing came. He's like, hold on, there's literally no way to put this in any form. So literally, it's gonna not make sense. But if I take it out, it's gonna make even less sense. So he has to like leave it as is. And he's like, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, because like also it's the fact that you don't have time to reshoot, right?
Yeah.
So like you're left to whatever film you have.
Yeah.
But it is a crazy idea to be, like we've talked about this in the last podcast, about like your style is your mistakes. And I don't think that couldn't be more true for Suzuki here.
Okay.
Like his mistakes make up his style, and his mistakes are so weird and it makes his style so weird that it influences so many people.
Right.
And I got a hot take for you. I got a hot take. Suzuki walked. I'm spacing it so you don't spit out your drink while I say this.
I was trying to spit it out.
Suzuki walked so Tarantino could run.
I can't breathe, Adrian. What do you mean?
You know this little rapper called Lil B?
Yes.
The bass god, some might say. He walked so Playboy Cardi can run.
Okay.
Suzuki did not make a movie anything close to a masterpiece.
Okay.
But he added an ingredient to the pool of ingredients in filmmaking that now anyone can just grab, Tarantino, and add to their masterpiece.
Okay.
Add to their movie to make a masterpiece. And I think it's an even bigger take now, because a hotter, bigger take, where it goes to my take of, you have to see a lot of things. Mm-hmm. You can't be selective and listen to just Kendrick Lamar and Drake and Beyonce now. And Elvis.
Woo!
You have to listen to the shit, because the shit has a little piece of golden flake in their poop, and you can add that golden flake to your work and eat it, like that.
I will not watch bad things, no matter what you say to me.
What do you think about that TikTok? About how he contributed to the film lexicon?
Sure.
You like it?
Let's not go that far.
So yeah, it's just, I think that we are all adding to the culture. We all add a little something.
Okay.
And we add a little something with the hope of adding a lot of something. Most of us don't add a lot of something. But the people that do add a lot of something are the ones that take from the little something.
Stop saying something.
Gotcha. And that's what it's about, man. It's about everyone pitching in so everyone else can run.
Communist.
Blockchain, baby. Let me go. Ready? Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Hey! The movie goes on. After that crazy middle part where Tetsuya is beating up people, he gets helped out by a guy named Otsuka, who's the shooting star. He's essentially like him 10 years ahead of him. He's a drifter too. He was for a rival gang. But this guy's a badass because he can actually.
He's the real deal.
He's the real deal.
Yeah.
I love how he's like, you can't kill me. You still have the safety on. It's like really basic action scene. I'm like, I love this, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is how an actual fight goes. It's not John Wick where like they know thousands of moves.
Yeah.
It's just like you need to rough them up a little bit, and then they get scared.
Yeah.
But Tetsuya the Phoenix, he goes drifting again. The Viper goes and chases him, but he goes to this bar, and this bar is essentially like. It sort of reminds. This scene actually reminds me of Mel Brooks' Blazing Saddles.
Sure.
It's just like the whole time this movie was a noir with a stoic Tetsuya, and then it turns into straight up Looney Tunes for like a good 10 minutes with like a brawl that happens at a burlesque show, and all the guys get beat up and drunk, and then the women of the bar start making the men march and making them do stupid things, and for the only time in the movie, Tetsuya gives a smile. And I'm like, alright. This movie's just like a hodgepodge of everything that he wanted to do at the time.
Tarantino-esque, one might say.
Oh. Do you know what scene Tarantino pays homage to this movie? It's when the bride is fighting the 88 gang.
Okay.
And the movie starts in black and white.
The Bride?
No. You know The Bride, right?
Kill Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gang 88. Okay. And it starts in black and white, and then she kills like the first random set of people, and then it turns into color.
That's an homage
to how this movie starts in black and white and it goes to color.
Like,
wait for it. And then they go into this room and they turn on different lights, and it's a blue lighting, and then it's red lighting. Do you remember that scene? It's in the same kind of 15-minute sequence. But it's a little bit of what Tarantino took from Suzuki.
Okay.
And it's beautiful to watch. And if you don't know now, I wouldn't say Tarantino's like a very intellectual guy. Maybe that's the wrong way to say it. Like, he's a very smart, but his movies aren't like, they're not really trying to give a big message.
Yeah, they're entertainment.
They're entertainment.
Yes.
They're like high quality entertainment.
Yeah.
Maybe like you could say, who's trying to give a message? Which like modern director?
Peele?
Nah. Sure, but I want someone else. I want like a
Denis.
He's kind of
know,
the same vein, right?
I don't know.
It's okay, Evan.
I'm sorry.
Tarantino is kind of like, he is kind of like Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Entertainment.
Whereas Noah Baumbach is really trying to give a message out here. I don't know. I think it just like, it goes back to we as humans, we try to complicate things, we try to give a big message, but Tarantino's like,
fun scene, but
he's like exactly what you want. No one's just trying to have fun. That's what you're
let's have fun again.
Yeah, Top Gun, baby.
Soon we'll have fun soon, I promise.
Final scene, Tetsuya confronts his boss, confronts the old boss. Essentially, his boss betrays him because the old boss tells him, the new boss, that you're gonna get the building back and money and whatever. He's like, okay, order a hit, doesn't really matter. But the end scene is this wacky scene where he throws up the gun.
That was the best part.
That's like something someone does before they get killed.
Like, didn't see this coming.
So good. But yeah, I love that scene too.
There's a movie, probably like Other Guys or something like that, where like they just throw it. Oh, The Nice Guys. Have you seen that?
No, I want to.
It's good. You'll really like it. But there's a scene like, throw me the gun. He throws it and it just goes out the window.
Yeah.
The whole movie's like that. It's good.
That's what that last scene is like that. And then, of course, he has the chance to have the woman. He's like, get off the tits.
I'm a drifter.
I love how he tells her, no woman can walk by my side. Like, this guy.
He knows.
He knows something. This guy's smart, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking. Evan, let's rate this movie. Out of 5 pistolas, how many pistolas is this?
I'll tell you in the form of gunshots.
Go.
75%.
Wow! You could have done that better. You could have done that way better. This is how you do it.
Go ahead.
It's 3, right?
Yeah. Muzzle?
Silencer.
But then you wouldn't know the exact number. You'd be like, muzzle, what's that, 3.10?
Okay.
Like, no, 3.75.
Gotcha.
So it's like a laser, 75 power.
It's so bad. That's so bad. Ivan, you're stuck in a rut because you've been you're on the 3.75 a lot.
Yeah.
You don't know how to differentiate because this movie's
I have rationale.
This movie's a 4 out of 5. Ivan, what's your rationale? And this goes to your question in the beginning.
Oh, did they know what they were doing? I'd say yeah. They knew. And I meant in like filmmaking, like framing a shot, stuff like that. Like they already kind of knew that by 60s, which is when this was made. So I think like at that point there was really no excuse to have bad shots. Maybe that was like their CGI of today, where like anything can be made today. Like back then in the early 70s, late 60s, you could have there was no reason to have a bad looking shot.
Put the mic right here. Drink water, because you're
Shut up. But it's also like there's an unrateableness to movies generally because of so many factors. So 3.75 is like, look, I had to pretty much live there to give this its actual rating. So from the entertainment I got out of it, from the craft that I see out of it, I have to give it like a good number. But also I have to be realistic and not say like, oh, it's a 5 out of 5.
I like how last week I told you, or you told me, I'm not gonna watch any old movies.
So you forced this on me.
And I force-fed you Tokyo Drifter.
But this didn't really feel too old, just because like maybe I kind of know the set stuff already, like Mad Men era. Maybe I'm just so used to the 60s, or like I remember those days.
My old haunt.
Yes, my old haunt. What were you saying?
Yeah, that's it.
Old movies?
4 out of 5. I think it's a 4 out of 5 because I can enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
And like I can imagine watching it in a theater and being like, that shit was dope. Like that shit was stupid dope.
Right.
Yo, son, that's Def. Def Jam. Ivan, it's time for a section we like to call
Things and Such.
Couple things.
And such.
HBOMax.
Combining with...
No.
Oh, this isn't that news?
That already happened. Well, it's kind of... the fact is that there's weirdness going on at HBO Max, right? And they made a Batgirl movie, which I had no idea they made.
That was good.
I had no idea they made Batgirl.
I did.
That's good that they did what they did?
Yeah.
And what they did is, because we're just talking amongst ourselves now, is they just straight up canceled the film that
was done.
I
love it.
And I was like...
That's what I want out of this company!
I was like, wait.
Oh, man.
And I had to... Whoa!
Oh, man!
And then I had to read about it, and essentially it's a couple things. It's like, if we write it off as a tax, we'll get money back. The movie wasn't going to make that much money, because it was going to go straight to HBO Max. Another thing is that they want DC movies to be spectacles and not straight to HBO Max.
Darn tootin'!
And maybe there's another thing where the movie wasn't that good. Maybe. Yeah. We don't know about that.
Joss Whedon directing.
No. So two guys from different country that did other movies.
Even worse.
But my initial reaction was like, why not just release it? But then after reading it, I'm like, I like where this is going. I like the balls to be like,
this is bad.
Listen, tits. Scram! Because I feel for the cast and the creators who made this work, but the fact that you can be like, we have a vision for this brand and we want to keep the brand intact is more important than hurting the feelings of the people that worked on it. Sure, it might set you back in some different ways, but as a whole, it might be better.
It was probably just bad. Like, they watched it like, they're for real they were gonna release this? Like, don't they know movies at all? Like, that's how I felt with Jurassic World. Like, if I were the exec, well, they made millions and billions of dollars.
Yeah,
but if I was an exec that
bummed me out so much that they made $1 billion off of that shit.
I didn't do it.
Jurassic World is a bad movie. Like, Have some self-respect.
Disney.
No. Is it Disney?
I don't know. I'm just
Steven Spielberg. I'm probably never gonna make a movie after this, but I don't care.
You're gonna blackball yourself?
Yeah. Suzuki, hit me up, man.
I don't condone this man's words. I am an innocent bystander. Go ahead.
Spielberg, you are a great director.
Oh.
You are a visionary.
Gonna be bad.
You added a lot to this culture.
True.
But you can't keep funding projects that take away from the culture. Here on Peliculas with the Bros, we like to think that we add to the culture. We probably don't. You might be right that we're taking away from the culture. But our net positive is bigger than that movie's net positive.
Mm-hmm.
Spielberg.
Hire us.
Hire us. You knew it. You knew it. My phone number is, well, we can get into that later, but hire us. We will come in. We will, I was going to say we were going to kill Colin Trevorrow, but that would be a little much, right?
Yeah, I don't think he'd like that.
Okay. We won't kill Colin Trevorrow. We'll teach him the ways.
No. We won't. We'll replace him. We'll do Jurassic World 4 and do it right. Like, we're going to, like, it seems like impossible, but this is like, we're going to prove it to him. Like, you're really going to do 4 after you trash 3?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's how confident we are that we could deliver a product.
Like, it's going to be a continuation on your bug story, and we're going to do it right.
It's going to be so good. I already have tons of ideas.
Me too.
He should call us.
One word. Lightning bug.
Underwater.
Wow, you're going to give him that big one? Alright.
Jaws.
Your move, Spielberg.
T-Rex. Jaws.
Pawn to Queen 4, you know what I mean? Check.
Mate.
I don't know why we did that. Anyways, there's weirdness going on HBOMax with the Batgirl stuff, and it makes me want. And there's also like some things that are happening, like shows are getting removed and stuff like that. It looks like there's a new strategy over there. But
make good movies.
But HBOMax is the best streamer right now.
Yeah.
So imagine it even better. That's an interesting take.
I predicted it would be top dog. I predicted this.
You did, Ivan?
I predicted this.
Alright, Ivan said it first.
They should have went streaming like 5 years before. They
were. HBO Go was a thing.
But it was like not a streaming service. It was like, this connects to your TV provider. If you have HBO already, you can watch it for free. Like, no, they should have just done Netflix.
That's true.
But whatever.
The Daniels. The people that made Everything Everywhere All at Once. Signed to Universal.
Monsterverse. We got ideas.
Hit us up, Daniels! What do you think about this?
I don't care.
Hold on.
I kind of need a movie. It's a disrespect. Dang, one look. Oh god, Adrian peeped out. We gotta stop this.
I'm just hoping that the Daniels can be the people that are just like, we're gonna make the movie we want to make for $200 million. And it's not gonna be like your typical, like, yeah, Danny gets 200 and he makes Dune, but we want to get 200 to make SpongeBob SquarePants versus Adventure World.
Right.
Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from them now that I think about it. They're like a mix of a bunch of animated shows come to real life.
Right.
But wouldn't that be good? Don't give them IP. And if you do, just be willing to lose it all.
Jeez. Give them a DC movie, or I don't know.
That's not Universal.
Just give them a DC movie, that's all they need.
Give them The Mummy.
The Mummy. Sure.
Just, no.
Brendan Fraser coming back.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I don't know. They only have. I don't know what their style is.
They don't have a style.
Styleless? The style?
I'm gonna start for a section we'd like to call What's on the Telly? I have some good stuff for you. Star Trek. It is good.
I don't care. I don't want good. I want amazing. I want 10 out of 10.
Okay.
I want the best of the best.
Okay, so Star Trek, it's good. For all you listeners, I would recommend watching Star Trek. It feels good, it looks good, and it's like, it does two things. It's nostalgic for the original Star Wars, and it does something new. So that's for the people that want to watch 8.5 out of 10. So Ivan, don't look at that. But what I have for Ivan is a show that I've been recommending to him for a year now, and it's called Industry. And the second season started. The first episode came out last week on HBOMax. You need to watch it.
I'm not watching Industry.
Why not?
I don't want to watch anything.
But it's good. It's great.
What's
Like,
it
you
about?
have to trust me. It's a workplace drama set in the financial sector.
I remember.
You like Mad Men, right? Why do you like Mad Men? Because the characters? Alright. You like Industry. You'll like Industry. Because the characters. Great character development. What you like most about it, Ivan? I'm glad you asked. It's fresh. And it's fresh because it's of this time.
What's the streaming service?
HBOMax, baby.
Ah!
Your favorite one!
I was going to say that no matter what service you said.
It's fresh, and it's actually like of the time, not like Euphoria. Because Euphoria is like of the time.
But the characters aren't realistic.
Correct. This show's real. You'll love it. You'll love it, Ivan.
After seeing Succession, no show can be better than that.
That's like, you're such an elitist. Oh God, I'm an elitist brother. You eat like filet mignon, and then you're like, oh hell no. You eat filet mignon, and then you tell me I can't eat a burrito anymore because I just screwed up my palate.
Maybe.
I know what babies taste like.
Maybe.
You have to watch it. Like, it's a great show. The soundtrack is like, oh my god. And it's not obviously.
Who's the lead?
New people. You don't know.
Impossible.
I think I have the chick's name right here. No, I don't. Lead is Harper. She's an anti-hero. Just
What's
like
her
how
name?
you like them. Harper.
Harper?
The character is called Harper, so. What is it? What else? And it's just like Mad Men, like the same kind of setup. You have the anti-hero, and then you have like 5 other characters, and you build them up slowly, and they matter. You find your favorites. It's a shitty workplace. Come on, man. You're set up for this. But it's in 2022. Why don't you want to watch a show that can be great?
I don't like the commitment of being in a show when I don't know when it will end.
It'll end 8 weeks from now.
But then we're season 3, season 4, season 5.
So what about, you can't wait?
I'll wait till it's like season 4. Like ideally, that's when I get into any show, when it's season 4.
But then you're just like missing out on the culture.
I don't talk to anyone about it.
Hello!
Oh, this
Hello!
thing. Nah.
It'll be, Ivan.
I'm very happy in this tiny little pocket.
Just try. Can you watch the first episode?
Yes. And then I'll not watch the rest.
That's fine. Just watch the first.
I can't promise that anymore.
It's like Lay's. You have one and you can't help but have another one, baby. And Ivan, Oh, one last thing. I finished Light and Magic, the documentary about Industrial Light and Magic. Takeaways. Again. George Lucas is Kanye West. Kanye West is George Lucas. George indirectly created Photoshop and Pixar. Pixar was a computer that started in Industrial Light and Magic, and then they sold it because they wanted to make animation. So he's like, I don't want to make animation.
Right.
Photoshop was created by one of the workers at Industrial Light and Magic because he just wanted to do it on his off time. And then the fact that George was like, I'm not gonna make a movie until the technology catches up, because I hate making movies with film and doing it this way.
He is not a filmmaker.
And then he's like, everything will be better once we can go digital.
Look at us now.
And
worse.
And then he's also like, he went like to the Mandalorian set, and they have this is actually pretty cool, where like it's a set with like screens, so the actor doesn't feel like they're in a green room. And he's like, I've been wanting this for like 40 years now. Like finally you guys did it. But it is the Kanye part too, where he's like, why are we still doing it this way? It has to be this way. Mm-hmm. And there's good and bad to both of those ideas. Like, it does innovate things, mm-hmm. but a lot of people end up using that technology for shit products. But I guess like the overall thing is like, but imagine like that one perfect product that it can produce, and it'll be really good.
I think ideally for George, he should have found someone for 1, 2, and 3 who knew how to direct. Like someone who could see his vision.
Yeah.
Ideally.
George is just a weird guy. And it just goes to like, he had one good movie.
Yeah.
And then he was off to the races. It's so weird. It's just really weird to me. And he's just the manager. He's not he has like a basic vision, but everyone has a basic vision. He just executes on that vision with everyone's help.
Like Steve Jobs.
Hey now.
Like Kanye West.
Hey now.
Like Elvis.
Ivan, it's time for a section we like to call Really Be Bussin'. I love the intro music for this. I'll show you one day. Beyonce.
I listened through once. Unimpressed.
Really?
To say the least. Poppycock. That's all I have to say about it.
Jesus Christ in the cracker, Judy.
Exactly. I think it was good, but it's, I don't know, it's like, I've heard this, like, what do I get out of female empowerment? That's what my question is.
Wow, what a manimist you are.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's good.
So really, I don't even get your take.
It's good. It just, like, I don't feel anything from it. Like, there's a song, like, super general, but like I make money, I attract men, like, part of that. That's, like, part of the song. Like, so
it's your same thing with rap?
Yeah, like, if you're saying that, you're not there yet. Especially after Kendrick, who's just saying, like, any talk like that is bad, or any talk like that is ungenuine. And then Beyonce does, like, mostly a whole album on it.
Have a rebuttal.
Go ahead.
And it's this drop. This transition.
Oh, I don't know.
Shut up. transition.
It's good. I just don't care.
It's the best album of the year.
Jeez.
Because it's exactly what you wanted.
But it's for women.
This album made me gay.
I don't think that's what it's for women means. You weirdo.
Oh. When I heard that transition, I was like, I need to Vogue. You know how like I take up hobbies?
No.
I thought I needed to take up voguing.
Okay.
Cause that was like, and it's so funny that you Ivan, the one that's, we just have to have fun. You can't look past your manly ways and just say, you know what? Stop showing your under eyelid like your anime character. Beyonce is the queen.
Yeah.
And she holds court right now.
Okay.
It's a great album.
Yeah.
It's an expensive sounding album. The album sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing. And then there's obviously some dope tracks. And I said earlier that I was going to add to our Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog lexicon. And it's this. Hold on, let me perfect it.
That's not.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
I don't know what to say to you right now.
That's my DJ. Wait, was it? Ah, damn it, I lost it. I got the wada. But the other one's hidana. Yeah, that it is.
You're so proud of yourself.
It's so good. It's so good. I do love that, like, it's like a mix of like New Jersey bar, I forgot what it's called, New Jersey club house music. Joyzy
Club, let's go to the Joyzy Shoy Club.
And we'll have some boyga sliders.
Joyzy Boyga Sliders, the Koi Moines.
Come on! Hey, come on! Oh, you!
Cormine Falcone. Back at it again.
Oh, you lost it. You lost it way before you even had it. It's a great album, Ivan. You really need to reconsider your opinions.
It's good.
Cause you
It's like a 4 out of 5.
Don't go there. You wanted
4.5.
you wanted someone to have fun, and she's having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to check
There's
yourself.
different definitions of fun.
You need to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Oh, whatever.
And she really put it down, and I give it to her because she did what Drake tried to do.
Oh.
What Drake tried to do, and poor Drake, he doesn't have that kind of like, I don't even know.
Staff.
I know, staff and that kind of time to put. She probably worked on this for 2 years.
I think Drake's album was just for Coachella. Literally, like, only for Coachella.
That's fair. But she did what Kendrick didn't do. And as time goes on, Kendrick's album was gonna be shit. That album was shit, man. Yeah. No. Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
That one was poop.
But how? What's wrong with it?
It didn't do anything.
To the culture?
To me. To me, Ivan.
You. I could say the same argument about Beyonce.
I know how deep the well goes.
Of?
Everything. And
like the laugh. She's like.
And Beyonce's deep well goes so deep.
What are you saying, man?
I'm just saying that Kendrick is gonna come out with an album soon that's gonna blow out this previous album.
Yeah. Doesn't make it bad.
But it doesn't make it good. And I think that like all these albums that just came out, it's kind of like anything that came out this year was gonna be a letdown. Because they were holding on so tight and they didn't want to release anything. Because like they're like, it has to be perfect. It has to be. Everything that comes out is gonna be like, all right, well, let's just wipe the slate clean, and 2023, let's start doing something new.
Been saying this for years.
And that's what this new time is gonna be. Shout out to Beyonce with the best album of the year, and I've increased as well.
Agreed.
One thing that I do not like is that she changed the lyric.
Oh, from like Spaz to something else.
And I think that's so dumb. So
I thought it
dumb.
was funny.
How so?
I don't know, just like that's the issue you have. She said spaz. Like, who's crying? Honestly.
But why are you gonna change a lyric? Like, you're changing your art? Like, I get it that it doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, it's a lyric, it could change, but...
Kendrick had a similar song about this, about words you cannot say. I don't know. I'm just... He said it was bad or whatever. Look.
Ivan, your neck. You're gonna lose your neck, Ivan. Your head is going inside your chest. Yeah, that's it. Any music you listen to? You're dead. You're a dead man.
Elvis.
Oh no!
I just listen to random, like, I put Elvis radio, and it doesn't always play Elvis. And just goes through, like, oh, that was a nice song, like, okay, I'm tired of this radio. Another radio. Country radio. I hate that. Okay, this radio.
Ray Orbison?
I don't know who that is.
Hey, what do I see? And she's walking back to me. Yeah. Pretty woman.
Walking down the street.
Pretty woman.
Is that the same song?
Yeah.
Oh. Nah, I don't like that.
Wow. What am I, a chimp?
Yeah.
Doing my show and dance for you?
Yeah.
Okay. You'll be back next week, right?
Yep.
Bullet Train is the subject of next week's podcast. It'll be fun. It'll be entertaining. I'm sure it'll be a bad movie, but hey, Brad Pitt's in it, right?
Shut up.
Okay.
It's gonna be a great movie.
Any party words for the beautiful people out
Bullet
there?
Train is gonna be a 4.5.
Quickly, Quentin Tarantino. He said, they asked him, what do you think of Top Gun? He's like, I usually don't like talking about movies because then I have to say something nice, but I'll do it for this film. It is a great movie.
He's a good guy. I like him.
Quentin, you're a good guy. Hit us up. We'll collab, you know?
Let's just talk. Mind to mind, man to man. Let's just talk.
Woman to woman.
Let's just talk.
Joyzy Boygas Sliders Carmines. We'll be back next week with another episode of Peliculas with the Bros. Peace out.
Boy.